I want to talk to you this week about a form of abuse called gaslighting. Now, if you've never heard of what gaslighting is, I'm going to try and define it for you. Now that, as I learned this week, is somewhat of a difficult task. Even the dictionary definition I did not find to be a very good definition, and the Wikipedia definition is somewhat of a good definition, but I found there to be some problems with it. And I'll read for you what the Wikipedia definition is, but be forewarned that it's rather convoluted, and that's one of the problems. Now, the reason I know that these definitions aren't really good definitions is because I know what gaslighting is, and I understand what it is, and these definitions don't really say what it is. So the Wikipedia definition is that gaslighting is a form of abuse that seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual, hoping to make them question their own memory, perception, and sanity. Using persistent denial, misdirection, contradiction, and lying, it attempts to destabilize the target and delegitimize the target's beliefs. Okay, so again, that might be a bit of a convoluted definition. You may have heard that definition and said, I don't really know what that definition's saying. And that's one problem with it. And I'm going to start giving you examples of what gaslighting is. But the other problem is that it talks about gaslighting as if it's some sort of master plan that a person has, that they've sat down and maybe thought about, and they're very specific with their intentions, saying, you know, I'm like planning out and strategizing of how I want to undermine this person and make them doubt their own sense of reality, right? Which is what gaslighting is. It's a set of behaviors in which I'm trying to make you doubt your own sense of reality. But the problem is with giving a definition to a set of behaviors and implying an intention with those behaviors is that often our intentions are complicated, but not only that, it's impossible for me to see what your intentions are. I cannot observe, in any way, I cannot observe your intentions. I can only infer what your intentions are. I can see my own intentions, and that's it. I cannot observe anyone else's intentions. And so I have to go around and infer their intentions. Okay, but the problem is that if I simply describe a set of behaviors, those behaviors could have different intentions. For example, one definition I came up with is when somebody directly lies about something that they know that you know is untrue. So they've seen that you've observed them do something, for example, and then they lie about it, even though they know you've seen that it's untrue. So for an example, I see you drinking a can of Coke, and then you finish, you put the can of Coke in the garbage or it disappears somewhere. Come up to you and I said, hey, how was the Coke? You said, what Coke? And I said, the Coke you were drinking 5 minutes ago. And they said, I was never drinking a Coke 5 minutes ago. Back and forth it goes. And then you start to say, David, I think you're crazy. Right? I think that you're maybe crazy and you're seeing things. I was never drinking a Coke. Now think about something like that happening to you. Right? If you saw somebody do something and then you went up to them and you said, hey, I observed you doing this. How was that? Or whatever. You mentioned that to them, and then they completely denied it and started making you question your own sense of reality. Now the problem with this is that maybe the person was doing that because they wanted to hide the fact, let's say they're on a diet and they're embarrassed and they wanted to hide the fact that they were drinking a Coke. Sure, that's possible, right? People lie about things they're embarrassed about all the time. But would they go to the extent of trying to say, I think you're crazy in order to cover that up? I don't know. And again, this is one of the hard things about defining behaviors, is that often there can be many intentions in one. And I mean, just intentions are a difficult thing to understand. Human intentions, the reason why humans do things, is a complex subject. So again, this is why it's hard to define behaviors. But the other thing that I mentioned was wrong with the Wikipedia definition is that I don't think that people are often that thought out in their behaviors. Some people are, for sure. But if you read the dictionary, or the Wikipedia definition, the Wikipedia definition of gaslighting, you would think to yourself, wow, you know, these people are really thinking and strategizing about their behavior. And then maybe you would miss the gaslighting that's actually happening to you on a regular basis. Because even the way I described it, you know, with a can of Coke, you're sitting there and you're going, that sounds insane. Why would anyone ever do this? But has this ever happened to you? Has somebody ever insulted you and then denied that they insulted you? Not denied that they said the particular sequence of words, but denied that they didn't mean the insult. They said that they didn't mean to insult you. And then when you keep bringing it up, you're saying, well, no, that doesn't make sense to me because that's an insult. They're like, no, it's not. You're crazy for thinking it's an insult. No one thinks this is an insult. It's like, well, no, most people think this is an insult or whatever, and you go back and forth, and then oh, you're getting too emotional about this. You're too focused on this. You're taking this too seriously. Do you see how that works? Somebody insults you, and then they blame you for being insulted, even though they just insulted you. Because the proper thing to do when I say something that somebody finds insulting is to say, wow, okay, I can see how you would think that, and try to like understand why the person thought that, and then explain what I meant when I said that. Right? And I've had this happen, where somebody insulted me, and I said, hey, don't insult me. Then they go, that wasn't an insult. You're getting too serious with this discussion. You know, we're just trying to have a conversation. Don't get emotional. Right? That's called gaslighting. That's what gaslighting is. It's much more simple. Gaslighting can be much more simple than a person having this grand scheme to slowly, piece by piece, undermine you. Again, think of another form of things. Another form of undermining somebody's behavior, sarcasm. And I'm not saying that sarcasm's never necessary or whatever. But often, sarcasm is used as a form of insult. It's used to imply that somebody else is stupid. Right? And when people use this sarcasm and you call them out for it, what do? They defend their actions. They say, I was never doing this, even though this is the direct result of my behavior. That was never my intention, and you're crazy for thinking otherwise. That's called gaslighting. Get away from people like that. They're not good. They're trying to make you doubt your sense of reality. What's more important, having friends like that or having a proper sense of reality? This is a crazy form of behavior. And this goes down to a greater point I would make, is that this is a generalized statement. It's not always true, but your intentions don't matter. Your intentions really don't matter all that much. What matters instead is the results of your behavior. And again, this goes back to the original problem with the definition of gaslighting, which is that it's hard to give definition to a behavior and include intentions, because in the world we live in, people will do things that always result in a particular thing or have a particular result. They'll have a particular set of behaviors that always has the same result, and said, say, it was never my intention to get these results. So that either says that you're lying about it, or you're just dumb. And it's okay. Some people are stupid. Some people don't actually know what is going to happen when they do something. I don't know how else to describe that. Is that stupid? I don't want to use it pejoratively, but I mean, like, some people literally do not know what results their behaviors are going to get. Those people would be known as, you know, mentally challenged or something. I don't know what the current politically correct term is for that. But yeah, some people are like that. Most people aren't. And so, what are we to think of people who keep doing a particular action and saying that they have a different intention than the action they're doing? Especially when the results of their action undermines you as an individual. That is something to think about.